So we are merely servants. We have done no more than our duty. I think we can fall into the trap of living our faith, and St. Paul is preaching to Titus, or writing to Titus, about living the Christian life. And we can fall into the trap of thinking, well, I'm doing X and I'm doing Y. I'm going to Mass, I'm serving in this area, and therefore, actually, I'm doing good. I'm better than these other folk over there. And so if I'm doing that, then God actually owes me. You know, good things should happen to me. I should be receiving blessings because I've done this and I do that, and therefore I deserve it. And here Jesus is teaching us, actually, no. We are servants, and we as servants are to be obedient to hear the Lord and to listen to his word, to hear the teaching of the church and to listen to it, and those who are in authority to us, over us, to listen to them, including the government, actually. St. Paul teaches us. St. Paul is writing to Titus and in Crete, and they've got problems in Crete because there are people giving false teaching. And so there's a need for teaching of sound doctrine, but the problem they have is they haven't got the leaders to do it. And so yesterday with Titus, the letter of Titus is only 3 chapters, so you could read it very quickly, in 5-10 minutes, very easily. And yesterday we heard from the first chapter, Paul talking to Titus and asking him to ordain sound men. And he gives them the qualities of these men, what they're to be like when they're as leaders, priests in the church. And here he's now speaking to all of us, the qualities that we're supposed to have as Christians. And of all ages, he speaks to older men, older women, younger men, how we're to live, and to live so that we don't bring the church, the teachings of Jesus Christ into disrepute, so that what we teach is what we live. Because you and I have all heard, I'm sure, those people when we meet them in the street or in our work or our friends who say, "See you Christians, you say this and yet you do that." We've seen you out in the town. We've seen you doing X, Y, and Z. You talk the good talk, but you don't live it. And St. Paul is very earnest that Titus teach you and I to live according to what we teach, to practice what we preach. And why is that? One, it's for the good of others, loving our neighbor, for their benefit, for God's glory. But he's also teaching us here in the second half of this text, why, what's behind it, what's the foundation of all this? And so he's saying, God's grace has been revealed. Who's it been revealed by? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has come. God has revealed himself through Jesus Christ and has made salvation possible for the whole human race. Everybody can know salvation through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Through baptism. By becoming a member of the church through baptism, we can enter into new life through Jesus Christ. We can know salvation. It is possible for everyone. And he's taught that what we have to do is to give up everything that does not lead to God. If it doesn't lead to God, it's leading us somewhere else. If it doesn't lead to God, it leads to something else. And we don't want to go somewhere else to someone else. We want to go to God. And so everything that leads us somewhere else to somewhere else must be given up. Just very briefly, I was watching a video, and it's about SpaceX and their employees. You know SpaceX? Have you heard of SpaceX? They send rockets up, and the rockets go up, and then they come back down again, then they go up again. The same rockets, they use them over and over and again. But their plan, what they want to do, is go to Mars. They want to colonize Mars. That's the goal. That's what they're trying to do. And these people were talking on this video about SpaceX and their employees. And this employee, ex-employee, was saying, one of the things he regularly heard was the question, does this get us to Mars quicker? Does this help us get to Mars? If it doesn't, they weren't interested. It doesn't help us to get to Mars. Let's leave it and focus on something else that does. And so you and I should be focusing. Does this get us to Mars? Not Mars. To heaven. Does this get us to heaven? Does this get other people to heaven? Does our behavior, does my behavior get me to heaven? Does my behavior get somebody else to heaven? And if it doesn't, let's put it aside. Our goal is heaven, and to bring everyone with us.